everyone, welcome back to our tour of Scandinavia and the Baltics. We're on day 7, which means that we'll spend the morning in Oslo, but then in the afternoon we will travel on to Sweden and a place called Karlstad. Now, the food that I associate with Sweden is quite similar to that of Norway. For example, the dish that I'm going to make today is a pea soup, but in Sweden they serve this soup with pancakes on the side. So although the recipes are quite similar to what you can find in Norway, the pancakes just gives it that extra little Swedish touch, and it's traditionally served on a Thursday. These are our peas. You can see they're yellow peas, but I actually started the process of preparing these peas last night, and I'll show you what I did with them. As you can see here, I've taken my 500 grams of dried yellow peas and I've added it to a large bowl. You need a large bowl because the peas will expand as they soak up the liquid. And the liquid is 2 liters of water, cold water, and 2 teaspoons of salt. I'm going to leave this sit overnight and it'll be ready to make into pea soup in the morning. And this is what I find the next morning. As you can see, the peas have swelled up quite a bit. Now we're going to discard this water, rinse the peas in cold water, and then we're going to start making our soup. But after a day of soaking, this is what they look like. They're beautiful, they're plump, and they're ready to cook. But before we cook them, we need a stock to cook them in. And because this soup goes so well with salty pork, that's exactly what we're going to do. This is my pork knuckle. It's lightly salted. You can also use a smoked pork knuckle and it'll give you a beautiful result, but it'll be quite salty, so just be aware of that. And I'm going to put it in a pan, cover it with cold water, and then let it simmer for an hour and a half before I start adding the peas and my vegetables. And these are the vegetables that I'm going to use. See, I made an Irish flag. We have carrots, we have celeriac, which is a beautiful, fragrant root vegetable. We tend to use it a bit like a spice in the Scandinavian kitchen. And then here I have leek. You can use onions as well, but I like leek. It's a personal preference, no other reason really. These are the herbs that I'm going to use. I have bay leaf and I have thyme. Thyme is one of my favorite herbs. It's so fragrant and delicious. I just pick these fresh in my brother's garden. Now then, let's get started. I've put my pork knuckle in this pot and I've covered it with water, and I'm now bringing that up to the boil. And what you'll see is that there is some impurities that's gathering on the surface. I'm going to let this sit for a couple of minutes, and then I'm going to drain off this water to get rid of those impurities entirely, put on fresh water, bring it back to the boil, and then I'm going to let it cook for an hour and a half. While the pork is cooking, we have time to do other things, like restart a sadly neglected crochet project. The weather's been so gorgeous the last couple of days, I've just been spending all my time outside. But this is going to be fun too. Or we can start to dream about where we want to travel next year. Maybe you want to visit the Eiffel Tower, or go to Rome and visit the Colosseum and the Pantheon. Maybe you want to visit a vineyard in Tuscany and do a wine tasting there. Maybe you want to stroll through the Gothic quarter of Barcelona and eat lots and lots of tapas. Or maybe you want to take a cruise down the Rhine Valley of Germany. Or maybe you want to come and cruise the fjords of Norway with me. I am a tour leader for Expat Explore, and Expat Explore offers group tours all over the world. I specialize in Europe, so if you want to come travel with me, Europe is your best bet. Now, if you do decide to book a tour with Expat, and why wouldn't you? They're great. Then I want to ask a favor of you. Please make sure that when you book, that you write in the comment field that you were referred by Inga. When you write that, Expat will see it and they'll pay me a small bonus. Tour leaders like myself have been left without any work this season, and we've lost out on most of this year's income. So by making that small gesture, which won't cost you a penny, you can really help me out. Thank you so much for your support. All right, everyone, I have moved my pork and the liquid that it was cooking in into a bigger pot. The pork has been cooking for an hour and a half. You can see there, it's almost coming off the bone there. And the liquid that it was cooking in has turned into beautiful stock. And that's going to be the base for our soup. Now, we are taking our soaked peas and we're adding them to the pot. We're also adding our thyme and our bay leaves. Now we're bringing this back to the boil and we're going to leave it simmer without a lid for another hour, hour and a half. It's been half an hour since we added our peas to our pork. As you can see, the liquid has reduced and our peas are starting to look very nice and soft. What I'm going to do at this stage is actually to remove the pork knuckle. And I'm going to clean all the meat off of it. The meat will go back into the soup. But for now, what I'm going to do is that while I'm cleaning this, I'm going to add my beautiful Irish flag of vegetables into the stock. And it'll keep cooking for another, close to an hour. Our pea soup is looking beautiful. It's a very thick soup. The Swedish like to cook their pea soup quite thick, but if you prefer it slightly thinner, you can just add a little bit of liquid to it. Just a bit of water will do. I've removed the bones and the bay leaves from the soup because we're just getting ready to serve now. And here we go. This is the finished pea soup with pancakes. For the recipe for the pancakes, just check out the comment below. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye!